Um, I'm doing some remodeling in this house. Along the stuff is the construction of the shower. It's coming out really cool. But we have this whirlpool, this hot tub over here that we wanna, make in a different way, or finish in a different way. It's already made. So what we want to do is we want to put this mosaic on the front of this. Now this cover made out of a resin slash fiberglass was here originally, and it had some decent elements, but now it's a different height. The curvature is a little different, and it was finished based on the desire of the contractor that was doing the house. Now we're gonna just upgrade it a little bit more. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make this front with those mosaics. So for that we're gonna create a structure that is gonna hold the concrete board that is gonna support the mosaics. So for that what we did is we got a piece of plywood cut to put right on top of this to actually mark the curvature. We're gonna use a jigsaw to be able to make these cuts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this frame, curved frame, using the plywood and 2x4s to be able to put the concrete board in front and then the mosaic tiles. So that's what we're gonna do. We cut that piece, we're gonna start working on it, and I'll show you in a moment how the frame looks. Okay, so once you cut the first section with the jigsaw, you want to measure, in this case, 1.5 inches for the 2x4s that we have here. The reason is that we don't want to make the base or the top too big. We want to recess it a little bit, and we also want to make sure that we can have a space for the concrete board and for the other stuff. So let's go ahead and cut the other side, and then we're going to make 4 pieces of the same curvature, the same angle. Once you have the arch that we made with this piece of plywood, you want to consider the thickness of the material that you're going to use. In this case, we're going to use a 1/4 inch concrete board and also a 1/4 inch of the mosaics in this case. So we're going to create 4 pieces of this, 3 more of those, and we're going to start making a lot of sections of 2x4s that are going to help us to create that arch. On the bottom, we're going to use some glue, some silicone to put it together, and the top as well. So we're going to subtract the height of the 4 pieces that we're going to make, so it's fairly thick, and we're going to cut the 2x4 so we make something nice and snug on the bottom. So let me continue cutting the 3 other pieces. Okay, so once you have the 4 pieces of wood that are shaped like the tub, you want to make sure and you start every 10 inches. In this case, you want to start marking the height, all the way to the tub, so you can actually cut the pieces accordingly. Now, every time that you make a measurement, mark it on the piece of, respectively on the piece of plywood, so you can actually install it exactly where it goes, and you can follow it, if you have some sort of like inclination on the floor or whatever, you can follow exactly the height, so it enters fairly snug inside the area where you installing the 2x4s. It may be that all of them are the same size. I just want to make sure that I follow the heights properly, so I don't need to make up a lot or build up with something in the bottom all the time. The arch was made already, so now we have the nice curvature. It's a bit snug, so we don't want to just push it in all the way. We're going to put the silicone on the top and bottom to make sure that it's nice and steady there. The reason of having those 2x4 so close is because we want to make sure that the 1/4 inch concrete board that we're going to put with 1 1/4 inch concrete screws, concrete board screws, are going to maintain the shape of the curvature. So that's what we're going to do. We want to make sure that it's nice and symmetric, meaning from here to there, the same space. Then we put the glue on the bottom and the top, the silicone, and then we continue with the concrete board on it. So we're continuing with the installation. We have the recess of 3/4 of an inch. So we have like a 1/4 of an inch lip. They're nice and level and same, nice depth. So we're gonna proceed to apply the silicone in the back of both of the stuff, so it will have a nice grip. Let it dry for some time and continue with the installation of the concrete. Um, well, you know, once you finish installing the concrete board, put a lot of screws in it. Follow the curvature really well. Because the board is 60 inches long, you need to continue with another section. It was like a 20-inch section. And on the seam, we actually installed this tape, the fiberglass tape that is there. Obviously maintain the levels and all the stuff, make sure that it's nice and snug. And just continue installing the stuff. Normally, what you will do, you work with the mosaic tiles. You want to make sure that they're nice and level. You measure, pre-measure, and re-measure. Then cut. Now, I had to be honest to say that sometimes I don't show the part of cutting through the wet soil and stuff like that. But I'm gonna make some videos just dedicated for that purpose, so you can go back again to them and see, you know, in different occasions how you cut it in 45 degrees and, you know, different stuff, and you cut mosaics, how normally I handle mosaics or small little tiles and stuff like that. So let's continue with the installation of that. I'll give you an example over here of symmetry. It's a little niche, but you want to make sure that you leave all the spaces nice and level. So it requires a lot of shims, and I make a lot of shims with the cardboard that comes with the mosaics to make sure that everything lines up. It doesn't look kind of sloppy, or the lines are too small in one section or too large in another one. So let's continue. Well, we have to start obviously by making sure that all the lines are nice and straight, level, like we said, and using the thin set motor with a 1/4-inch trowel, we're gonna apply, you know, in a nice way the material on the floor. I mean, on the walls. Make sure that you clean the areas where you're working, so you leave a nice, neat job. And with this grout applicator, you want to make sure that you compact the tiles, so you maintain that curvature in the same level, so the tiles are not like all messed up. All those cardboard pieces there is just to maintain the same distance between, you know, one sheet of mosaics and the other one. So let's continue. And after aligning a lot of the little mosaics and making sure that the spacing was fine and the curvature was with the right depth, in some areas we needed to adjust it and leveled and all the stuff. But anyway, the mosaics are nice and installed now. If you notice, we have a space over here, and you see the motor for the hot tub, and on the other side we have the faucet, so that's why we left that section that after a while is going to have an access through the tile, to the cabinet that is going to be against the wall. What else can I say? Well, just put a little bit of intention in making sure that all the lines are as straight as possible. Sometimes the mosaics actually come a little twisted on the sheets themselves, so you need to move one or two or more of them to make sure that they align really well. I'm not going to expand too much on the application of the grout. I have a lot of videos. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. But if you are, we have a lot of videos of that. I just want to give you an idea how you can actually make curved walls with tiles. In this case, works really well because it makes a contrast with the tiles that we have inside the shower. So thank you so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are, thank you as always. I hope to bring you more material soon. Bye.